Okay, so can I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, as in the last session, we are talking about Lightning record view form, right? So a Lightning record view form component is a wrapper component that accepts a record ID. That means which record you want to display, right? And display one and more field. That means the number of field that you want to display over the that component. That means the record view form, basically it is a pre-built component provided by the Lightning environment, LWC environment, and that particular component accept a record ID from Salesforce itself, and display the fields that you want to display over them, right? And each field basically associated with a label, and you can say label basically display the record label, and we have fields that show the value, right? Basically you can say when we talk about this particular component, it accepts a record ID, and it is used to display one and more field and label associated with that record using Lightning output field, right? Now Lightning record view form required a ID, because with the help of this particular ID, this particular component is you can say display that particular record, right? And when we are using this particular component, it doesn't require any additional Apex controller, right? Or you can say Lightning data services to display record. This component also take care the field level security and sharing things, right? That means if you have a level of security, right, with that particular field, so it follow the rule, and it will display the required fields only, right? That means the user will see only if they have access to view a specific field on a record. If you are going to retrieve, suppose, one field with the name of amount, right, and that is a part of your record view form, but as a user you are not authorized to view that particular field. So in that particular scenario, even the field is on the record view form, but you are not able to view. The reason behind that is field level security, right? So with the help of record view form, we are authorized to view a specific record that is basically associated with your ID, and it will show only those fields that is a part of your component. The second thing, Lightning record edit form. That is Lightning record view form. Similarly, we have Lightning record edit form. Now, this is also a component. It is a wrapper component that accepts a record ID and the object name. It is used to add a Salesforce record or update field in an existing record. That means we can view as well as we can edit, or you can say update the field. And this particular component is also associated with your a specific ID. That means ID of the record. So whenever you are going to update field, so that particular record in Salesforce is updated. The component display field with their label and current value, and enable you to edit their value, right? Because that particular component, when you are going to write a line of code for that, then you need to specify the ID, right? Or we have some mechanism by which we can get the current record ID. So it will display that particular fields, as well as you can say fields that you included in your component, right? So we have both option. You can also edit that particular record. So this component display field with their label and current value, and enable you to edit their value. The Lightning input field component is used inside the Lightning record edit form to create editable fields. That means if you want, you can simply move between view as well as edit format, right? The Lightning output field component and display component such as a Lightning formatted name can be used to display read-only information in the form. That means if you want to edit that particular field, Then in that particular scenario, you can use lightning output field if you only view that particular fields. So in that case, you can use the lightning formatted name, right? That can be used to display read-only information in your form. Now, Lightning record edit form implement Lightning data services. It doesn't require any additional Apex controller to create or update your record. Using Lightning record edit form to create or update record with Apex controller can be lead some unexpected behavior. So it is better. There's no need to write any additional line of code. You can use this particular component, that is your Lightning record edit form, and you need to supply the record ID. That means for which ID you want to perform field updation, and you need to include the fields, that fields you want to display as well as edit, right? And it also follow your field level security, right? So using this particular component uh, does not hamper any security related issue, right? Now, Lightning record edit form support the following features. The number one, editing a records specified field, right? Basically, that is with the help of ID. Create a record using a specified field. That means when you want to create a new record. So in that particular case, you can provide the value only those field that is a part of that particular component, right? Customize the form layout. That means we have a flexibility to arrange the fields according to the UI that we want. And you can also customize rendering of a record data, right? So when we talk about editing a record, now to enable editing, simply we need to pass a ID of the record and the corresponding object API name, right? If we have an ID and ID belongs to accounts, so we need to provide both. And you need to specify the field that you want to include in record edit layout, right? By using Lightning input field, right? After that, you need to include Lightning button component. The type basically we choose is submit to automatically save any changes in the input field when you click on that particular button, right? Now, when we talk about creating a record with the help of this, so to enable record creation, you need to pass the object API name for a record to be created. Even you need to specify the fields that you want to include in the record creation layout using Lightning input field component, right? So those fields that you included in your component, you are allowed to add it or you can create record by using this field only, right? And you need to also include Lightning button component with type submit. When you click on save button, it will create a record for you. Now, when we talk about Lightning record form, now we can use the Lightning record form component to quickly create, add, you can say view as well as update a record. That means this particular component have a capability of both Lightning edit form as well as Lightning record view form, right? Basically, we talk about Lightning view form. With the help of Lightning view form, you can only view the record. Now, when you talk about Lightning record edit form, with the help of we can view as well as edit. So it will basically navigate between them. Which one? Lightning record form. That means it has a capability of both things, edit as well as view. Now, Lightning record form component provide these helpful features. The number one, switch between view as well as edit mode automatically when a user start editing a record fields, right? It provide cancel and save button. So there is no need to include any additional button. When we change the mode from view to edit, then it will automatically provide two new button on the UI, the cancel and save, right? When you cancel, that means you are just canceling your step. If you click on save button, it will save the value that you edited in your output, right? Now user, the record type layout that is supported, basically it show over there. Now it load all field when we using lightning record form, it load all fields, but it display only those fields that you included in your layout, right? That means with the help of lightning record form, we are able to create very fastly a form that allow you to edit as well as view your data. However, lightning record form is less customizable. To customize the form layout or provide custom rendering of a record data, we generally use lightning record edit form when you want to edit as well as update your record. And if you want to only view your record, in that particular scenario, we use lightning record view form. With the help of lightning record view form, we are allowed to only view the records, right? So sometimes we have a scenario where we want to view some important fields so that at a glance we are able to capture entire information of our record, right? So basically, if we talk about a particular record, in a particular record we have n number of fields. So for a particular scenario, what when we open a particular record, what we see some the required field. Suppose if you are going to view a result, then at a glance what you see the total percentage and division, right? Similarly, for a particular record, only certain fields we require to analyze the things, right? So we can capture that particular field with the help of record view form. Similarly, if you want to add as well as update your record in that particular scenario, we can use record edit form. And if you want the both functionality, that means we can add it as well as view. In that scenario, we can use lightning record form, right? The object API name. This basically this attribute is always required, and record ID basically it is required when you are going to associate a component with a specific record, right? So when we talk about lightning record form, basically it doesn't require any additional Apex controller to create or edit your record. It also take care of field level security. That means when you are going to use any of the component, your lightning record form, your lightning record edit form, or lightning record view form, they all basically work on the basis of field level security, right? So these are some you can say validation. So everything have some limitation. So limitation is does not support client side validation, right? And it will not support all standard object, including your task and event. So it will not supported by the lightning record form. So for that we need to create our own custom component. So I will show you the demonstration. So we have three component. You can see the first one. This particular component is your lightning record view form that allow you to only view. So with the help of this particular component, we can view only contents. So in this particular component, we have fields like account name, industry, website, annual revenue, account type, and phone number. So this particular component contains 6 fields. So it will show only those 6 fields that you selected, right? Even it will pick the record ID from here, and it will show that, right? Now we are looking the next one. That is your record edit form, and we have a record form. Now you can see in record edit form, we can edit any record. Just click on detail button. We included only 2 fields like account name and account type. Account type is currently prospect. You can choose any and click on save. When you click on save button, it will change the value. Now it is still in editable mode, right? So record edit form is always in edit mode. Now taking an example, we have record form. Just change the value of type and click on save button. It saved the record and it is now converted into view format, right? So if you want to add it, just click on this edit button. It will navigate between view as well as edit mode, and you can just change the value, whatever the value that you want to change. Click on, you can see we have two buttons, cancel and save. It will automatically come into the screen and there is no need to write any additional code. Just click on save button. Right. So we have three looks of the component. The first one, we have only view the record in edit form. That means we can only edit, right? And this, if we talk about a record form, so it has two view. That means we can edit as well as we can view. So when we click on edit button, it will navigate into the editing mode. And when we click on save button, now it will come into the format like where you can only view, right? Now moving forward, first we check the coding of this. So in this particular example, yeah, we have this example. For that, you need to create one lightning component. So creating a lightning component, you need to click on Control Shift P. And the first step that you need to perform, first you need to authorize your all. After you can create a lightning web component. When you create a lightning web component, you need to specify the name of the component that should be unique, right? And it follows some variable naming convention. Second step, you need to specify the location, and the default location is LWC folder, right? When you create a component, then it will produce three files. The one is your HTML file, CSS file, and your meta file. HTML file, now when we click on your HTML file, it will contain the UI, right? In this particular scenario, basically, we not use any lightning card, right? So you can see there's some difference. We have in lightning card, we have round corners, but here we don't have round corners. And you can see the corner is dark black, right? And it contains, you can see the concept of table. That means we use TR and TD, right? So use cases in last session, when we talk about last session, we started about if you want to edit your data with the help of lightning components. So LWC provide you three components, right? And that three component is your, that we talk about lightning record view form, lightning record edit form, and lightning record form, right? So the use case that we are going to use is to display record with the help of these three components, right? So if we talk about this one, currently we are talking about this one, lightning record view form that allow you to view your records, right? So for lightning record form, what we required the ID. That means the data that you want to display over there, right? So in this particular scenario, we have one record ID that we want to display, and we need to specify the field that you want to display over there, right? So in this scenario, we have, so you can see this is the output, and in this particular output, you can see we have two columns, column number 1 and column number 2, right? And here we have account name, website, account type, industry, annual revenue, and account phone, right? That means the column that you want to display over there, right? So you can see we are going to use lightning record form, right? Lightning record form. Here you need to specify two property. The one is record ID and second is record API name. So in record API name, you need to supply the object name. So object name is account, right? And the record ID, that means the record that you want to display, right? So for that, we need to specify certain things that I'm going to explain you in JS file. Now here, you are going to display value for name, website, and type, right? And in second column, we are going to display industry, annual revenue, and phone number. So whatever the value you want to you need to specify over there, right? Suppose if you want to display only name and website, so you need to exclude these value, right? Like name and so in first column, we are going to display name and website. In second, industry and annual revenue, right? So the number of columns that you need to include is depend on the value you want to display on the screen, right? And it is associated with your account, right? Account is the object and this is the record ID. Basically, that will automatically fetch the record ID of the current record, right? For that, we need to create this particular property. Now, if you want to utilize your lightning card, you can utilize lightning card, but in this particular scenario, we use deb and we specify one user defined class account container, right? And that is one class, CSS class. For that, we include one CSS, right? The name of all the file must be same. Here we specify the property, that means the background that you are using white and border 1 pixel solid, right? So whatever the things you want to implement, you need to specify in CSS file, right? So the formatting is now in your hand. Right, so we specify just formatting instruction for container. Now in HTML file, we have lightning record view form, where we need to specify two parameter, the record ID and object name. And in lightning output field, you need to specify the field that you are going to display on that. So we use the concept of columns, right? And use two field in each column. Now come to the JS file. Now in JS, you need to import all the module that you are going to use. So in this particular scenario, we are going to use one public API, that is record ID. So for that, we use that decorator at the API and specify the property name as a record ID, right? Now in metadata, you need to specify the one thing you need to expose and the area where you want to utilize this, right? And that is in lightning record page, right? After that, you need to deploy your component and just place your component the desired location where you want to display it. Yes, the same thing you can also use in custom object, right? That means the both three things, your lightning view and edit, right? You can use for standard as well as custom object. Basically, when we are using any component, so we need to use the component as it is. That means as it is provided by the system. If you want some additional thing, so in that particular scenario, you can create your own custom component. Otherwise, you can perform anything with the help of the component that is available in the system, and you need to utilize with the help of documentation. That means you need to first go through with the documentation and see what all the parameters is required and the manner that we can utilize this particular component, right? And before using component, you need to expose it as true, and you need to specify the target where you are going to use that particular component. When it is successfully deployed, then you need to just refresh that particular page, because the component is already over there. And if you want to add your component, so in gear icon, in a particular page, we have a gear icon. In gear icon, you need to click on edit page. With the help of edit page, you can simply edit your page, and it will show the list of the component, maybe a standard component or custom component. So depending on the type of component, you can select the category and add, drag and drop your component. You can see it is deployed successfully. In edit page, simply you need to drag and drop your component. And this particular component basically available in custom category. We have standard as well as custom. And custom component, you need to drag and drop your component at desired location, right? You can find the location when the page is completely loaded, and you can simply specify the location. Right. Now in preview, you can see as we specify the border color as a red. Now it is available in red color. After that, you need to simply just click on save button. It will save your page. You get a message, and click on back button and refresh your page. It will display the updated version if you update anything into your code. By using this concept, simply you can create, deploy, and display your component on a particular page. So we make two changes. Number one, the number of fields, and second, we change the border. And this particular component we added on account page, account record page. So we need to first open account and open any record. In that page, we are able to view our component, right? So in account, we added that particular component on record page, right? So we need to open any record, because we are using record ID. So it will automatically fetch the record ID in record page. So just click on record, and it will display the record value of that record only. Let's refresh it. Okay, 1 minute. When we change in the HTML file, right, we need to save, right? After saving, we need to redeploy. Deploy source store. Because at the time when we change, we forget to save the file. So it will take the old file and display the component according to that. when it's successfully deployed, then we need to just refresh with the help of Control Shift or. Control Shift or basically refresh the entire page properly, and whatever the change you make in your HTML page is now reflected over there. So you can see in JS file, what we do, we just declare one API decorator, that is record ID, right? And we use this decorator as a record ID here. And in object API name, we use account, and we use the lightning output field, and we use a field name that we are going to display over there. So depending on the lightning output field, it will display the records, right? Records fields. Let's refresh page. Still, it will show the 3 fields. Just refresh it multiple times. Basically, fetch your information from cache, right? So it will take time to reflect on the screen. It basically also depend on the your network speed. Okay, moving forward, we are looking to another component. Till then, after that, we revisit it and checking the fields that is displayed on the component. Moving forward, we are taking this one, record edit form. So record edit form is also a component, right? So first of all, we are just checking our HTML. Now, looking only this particular part, the remaining part basically is used for, you can say, formatting purpose, right? So we have lightning record form, right? In lightning record form, we are going to associate our record ID, right? And the object name. And the third one that we use is on success. On success, we are going to handle one success. That means when we click successfully, then it will show any toast message. If we are getting any error, then it will show that, right? And we are going to associate our field. That means the field that we want to handle on the form. So with the help of lightning input field, we are associating account name and account type, right? If you want to handle more fields, then you need to include more lightning input fields for each field that you want to handle on lightning recorded. Also, you need to include one more button, right? That is basically used to save your data. Yeah, basically we need to write some custom line of code that I will tell you how to handle the custom event, right? And you can also handle the validation over there, right? For that, we need to write some line of code that I will discuss in the next session. Today, we are going to discuss about the 3 things, that is your view form, edit form, and you can say your record form, right? So we are going to use the lightning input fields, and we need to associate each field that you want to handle over there, and you need to include one submit button, right? Now, when we talk about this particular user defined function, that is handle success. Now, moving to JS file. Now in JS file, you need to include all the module that you are going to use. So for that, first of all, you need to include the field like Salesforce slash schema slash object name dot field name. So we are going to handle name and type. So we need to include both. After that, we need to display success method. So for that, we need to include platform show event, right? Show toast event. With the help of platform show toast event, we are able to view like toast messages, right? So we need decorators. Now we have one public decorators record ID that is used to successfully save. Basically, to save a record, there is no additional code we need to write. But when it's saved successfully, in that particular scenario, we are going to display a toast message that show your records successfully saved. When you click on save, right? Now we get one success message, new record has been created, right? So when we click on that particular button, the record is saved and we get a record ID. When the record is successfully saved in Salesforce, we get a record ID. So if we get a record ID, so we just dispatch our event and we give message success, right? And the message that we want to display, and then color basically depend on the variant. So the success we are going to use, right? So in this manner, you can simply edit a particular record and simply you can display a toast message over there, right? Now come to the next one, that is a record form, right? That have both capability. That means when it is in edit format, it has two buttons, cancel and save. When you click on save, it is now converted into view format, and we have one edit option. Just click on it and you can further edit your record, right? So in that particular scenario, let's try to refresh. Let's show the 6 fields. I'm moving forward, then looking the next one. We have record form. Record form, simply that is also LWC component. Create LWC component, just click on Control Shift P and specify your create lightning web component. When we click on lightning web component, you need to specify the name and click on enter. Now you need to specify the location and you need to choose the default location, that is force app, main and default. In default, we have LWC. Now it will create a component, and under that component, we have 3 files. One is your HTML, JS file, and meta file. Now you can see test LWC. It will create test LWC HTML, test LWC JS, and test LWC JS.meta file, right? Now look at the HTML file. If we have record form HTML. Now look at this lightning record form. Now in Lightning record form, you need to specify the record ID, and second, object API name. Object API name, basically it represents the object, right? And the mode, default mode we are using, edit mode, and number of columns we are going to display data in 2 columns, right? And fields that we are going to associate is selected fields. So selected field is one property, record ID is second property, right? Now moving forward to JS file. In JS file, now you can see, uh, first of all, we introduce our decorators, right? After that, we use like Salesforce slash schema slash account dot name, account type, and account dot owner ID. That means we are just taking 3 fields, and these 3 fields we need to display, right? And for that, we declare 2 decorators. The public decorator is record ID, and second is selected fields. Now in selected field, basically it is an array, so we pass the 3 name, type, and owner, right? So selected field, when we talk about this selected field, basically it is used to display the field on your Lightning record form, right? So it will display 3 fields. Now moving forward, JS file. So we have only this particular thing, right? And in your metadata, you need to expose your controller, and you need to specify the target that you want to utilize to display your controller. That means we can include this particular controller on application page. We can also include this in a record page. We can also include it in a home page. So you need to specify the target where you are going to utilize this, right? Simple. As I told you, there is no additional line of code is required in controller for saving or editing your data, right? It will automatically provide you cancel and save button when you are in edit mode, right? So just click on, right? We have cancel and save button. When you save, it will basically save your data, right? So we have 3 information: account name, and type, and account owner. And as per the field level security, we are not authorized to change the account owner name, right? So you can see we don't have any edit option over there, but we have an edit option in account name and type. So you can just click on any of the field that you want to add it. It will now change into edit mode, but this is still in read only. That is your account owner. You can change any of the value and click on save button, right? So that is very much simple, these 3 components. So with the help of these 3 components, you can simple view, edit your records. Now you can see it will now refresh, and it will show the only 4 fields. Initially we have 3 fields in the component to display, right? So basically depends on you the number of values you want to display over the component, right? So there is no additional line of code we required in the controller to control the behavior, right? But if you want to implement things like if you want to make some validations, make the fields required, so we require some extra efforts to make these changes. So in the next session, we are going to introduce these things, is how to create a component and implement validation over there, and how to make the fields required, right? So if you have any query, put your comments in a group so that we can provide the solution for that. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.
question is there. Is there record new form? Chris, can you elaborate your question or?
Basically with the help of record edit form, we can perform two things. The first, we are not able to provide any particular ID, then it will create a record for that. And next time we can simply edit a record. That means record edit form have both capability. It will create a new record for you. And if the record is available, that means record ID is available, then it will simply allow you to edit that particular record, right? Basically, it will depend on the object that you are going to utilize, right? Yeah, we have some mechanism with the help of creating a component. We can test this, right? You are talking about testing or just check the scenario. I think you are talking about the testing of your component. That means how to test. Yeah. So we are going to cover that particular concept as well in the next sessions. Actually, we have more session on the LWC. So we have all the concept that we are going to cover over there. So that is also part of the session. So we also cover that. Okay, then. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the good session.
Okay, bye.
Yep. Hi, guys. If have any other questions, you can also ask on the LWC group also. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for next session. We will share the details.